Kulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, new equipment to avoid electricity supply disruptions. Account anomalies before Parliamentary Committee. And Edward Snow is the last man standing.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
The Fiji Electricity Authority will be installing a new circuit breaker this weekend to counter power outages. Chief Executive Hasmukh Patel says the equipment will be based in the Central Division and will kick in whenever there are incidents that are beyond their control, such as lightning strikes. Anna Ravulo reports.
Following few power outages over the past few months, the Fiji Electricity Authority has decided to replace the 35-year-old circuit breaker in Cunningham, Nasinu, which supplies electricity to most consumers in the Central Division.
Lightning is a phenomenon that you can have some, shall I say, protection strategies in place. Most of the time you expect it to work, but it's a natural phenomenon and sometimes you can try your best. But if you have a very severe lightning strike, you may end up, with a power outage.
Patel says they have enough diesel capacity to supply power while they install the new circuit breaker. He adds they will be doing similar work in the Western Division next week. The new circuit breaker will allow uninterrupted power supply whenever there is an external shock to the FEA grid.
We need around 8 to 10 hours to change this huge circuit breaker at Cunningham Road, and so there won't be any hydropower. Now, what does it mean for the customers? We don't anticipate any supply interruptions to our customers in the Central Division.
Both work in the Central and Western Divisions will cost them over $1 million, and the work carried out this weekend will begin from 10 p.m. on Saturday to 8 a.m. on Sunday. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
The media was kept out of a hearing on the petition relating to police back pay for 2015. The submission by the Fiji Police Force Finance Unit, scheduled before the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Defence, was closed off to the media, despite Parliament sending out a media alert to attend the hearing. Most sessions have previously been open to the media and public, but we were told this session was behind closed doors. Under the rules, the Speaker can order the exclusion of the public on grounds that are reasonable and justifiable. The audited accounts of the Ministry of Fisheries and Forests for 2014 and 2015 recorded around 32 anomalies. In a submission to the Public Accounts Committee today to clarify red flags by the Auditor General's Office, the Permanent Secretary Samuela Langataki explained that many of the issues stem from a new financial system and the need for a separate trading and manufacturing account. Unlike some ministries, Fisheries and Forests did not record any major write-offs. There were, however, variances in some of their accounts which could not be verified because of a lack of supporting documentation.
To work very closely with the Ministry of Economy, and then also now trying to include the staff from the Office of Auditor General, and then see if we can include them during our reviews, our quarterly reviews with our staff.
Police posts and community posts in the rural and remote areas of Dakandrove are under-resourced. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports there is a need for vehicles, office space and proper accommodation for officers.
Community posts and police posts in Vaturowa, Tunuloana, Tewa and Tukavesi face similar challenges. The lack of resources to help them effectively carry out their duties.
We usually just walk along the coast to the villages, not only to attend to complaints, but also for village visitations. We also catch the early morning bus to go to the villages, walk from village to village, and then wait for the last bus in the evening.
The Tukavesi police station has only one vehicle which has been grounded. Their boat is also grounded as there are no safety equipment, and there is only one horse that services Rambi.
Just recently the police force had been allocated some vehicles, some new vehicles, and I think they're working stage by stage for some more vehicles to be provided to our police posts and police stations.
The most common and major challenge, though, for these stations is the lack of manpower. In some instances, a community post that serves a population of about 3,000 is only looked after by 2 officers.
Hopefully, the Commissioner of Police's submission to the Minister of Economy will be considered and favorably for us to have more police officers, and also their accommodation to be looked at.
The ratio of police officers to the population averages around 1 to 900 and 1 to 1,000 people. So officers are dependent heavily on the community to help them combat crime. Eleanor Turangivio, FBC News.
Fiji Airways will begin rolling out 5 new Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircrafts from 2018. This will allow Fiji Airways to expand into new markets throughout the Oceania and Southeast Asia. Akusita Tale reports.
The upgrades from next year will give Fiji Airways the youngest aircraft fleet in the world by 2019.
We're very excited about these positive developments at Fiji Airways, and we are sure that as we go forward, this will help and continue to contribute further to tourism growth.
President Major General retired Chiochi Conrote says this will contribute immensely to 2018's outlook for the travel and tourism sector.
Plans to upgrade 5 of its Boeing 737 aircraft to MAX 8 aircraft should greatly contribute towards enhanced visitor comfort for travelers who come to Fiji from the west coast of America, eastern and other parts of Australia, and from the island state of Singapore.
Fiji Airways has also confirmed direct flights from Fiji to Adelaide in Australia begins next month, while the seasonal San Francisco flights will become year-round flights. Daily services from Fiji to Los Angeles will be boosted, partnering with American Airlines and now connecting to 40 different cities in the U.S. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
23-year-old Edward Snow was the last man standing in Today FM's competition to win a Hyundai Elantra worth $59,000. Snow endured more than 70 hours of rain, heat, mosquitoes, lack of sleep, and virtually no rest. But his hand on the car never wavered. Kelly Vadala reports.
It is my pleasure to hand to you, my brother, the keys to a brand new high-end.
It started with an IOU. Edward Snow had no money to call into Today FM and enter the competition, so he borrowed credit.
I feel happy, and I'm satisfied that my supporters were satisfied in terms of the outcome. Given the livelihood, the current economy, like in a normal Fijian, like 50,000 worth of vehicle, not a normal Fijian can afford. Right now, since I don't have any license, I'm just going to give it to my dad and try to go for his driving school.
Second last competitor Fred Suku wasn't giving up. He didn't quit, nor was he eliminated. A medical examination ruled if he continued, it would be harmful to his health. Edward's father, Arthur, never gave up on his son since day one. He believes the competition even brought Fiji together.
Edward is 59,000 more expensive today. I'll have to drive the car until I feel he's safe to drive this car. This is a very new car.
Fiji Broadcasting Corporation's Chief Executive Riasaid Kiyum says the competition has been a talking point all over Fiji, and the company will be looking at similar competitions in the future.
We have got plans to do things that would be quite similar, not just for Today FM, but also for our other radio stations. We've got gutsy people who can endure, and really make a show of it, not only for themselves and for their families, but for the people of Fiji as well.
It started on Monday with 33 people. One by one, they all dropped out or were eliminated until 4 days later, Edward was the last man standing. This was the first competition of its kind, but with generated interest, it surely won't be the last. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Still to come, former PWD workers to be sentenced next week, and volunteer teachers off to Tuvalu. Details after the break.
Nimbula vinaka na yavangunga andi moala rana vika o tikonga na tau no singatoka ando talitaka na vakaronga na Bula FM number 2 na serre.
Ya dora subuni kurnambili. Borani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na vakaronga na Bula FM number 2 na serre.
Bula! Bula FM, number 2 en seri.
Despite the devastating effects of Cyclone Winston, Fiji recorded 792,320 visitors last year, the highest ever. That 5% increase from 2015 has challenged the industry to work on a development plan for 2021. Akosita Tale reports.
2017 will be a big year for the tourism industry as the government maps out strategies to enhance growth. The Fijian Tourism Expo is one platform to highlight the plan to elevate tourism to a $2.2 billion industry by the end of 2021.
This will be achieved by rigorous marketing of the Fiji brand, investment in infrastructure that lead to increased investment in tourism and related activities, focus on sustainable development, providing support for small and medium enterprises, building capacity within the industry, to name a few.
Industry stakeholders have been challenged to come together as Team Fiji to ensure that Fijian Tourism 2021 is a success.
The Ministry has undertaken extensive consultations on the draft plan over the past few months, and it is continuing to receive favorable comments from stakeholders. If we do not work together as a team, we will not be able to achieve the vision set for the industry.
160 international travel buyers from across the world are in Nadi attending the Fijian Tourism Expo.
Today, 21 countries are represented at our expo through international buyers, and it is a great testament to our expanding international footprint.
Some of the buyers have traveled from Germany, the UK, USA, and neighbors from Australia and New Zealand. The expo ends tomorrow. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
11 Asian nationals from various flights were arrested at Nadi Airport last week for trying to import more than $134,000 without declaring it. The currency was located after customs officers became suspicious about the passengers and inspected their luggage, revealing the undeclared cash. Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority Chief Executive Viswanath Das says they have noted a drastic increase in currency smuggling cases over the past few months. The Fiji military has taken delivery of 3 armoured personnel carriers from Australia. The carriers were flown in by the Royal Australian Air Force and was received by military officers at the Nadi International Airport this afternoon. This is the last batch to arrive and will be used for training. 7 others came in earlier and have been sent to troops in the Golan Heights. This is the first time the military will operate such vehicles, 10 to be exact, sent to Fiji to ensure the safety of soldiers in the Golan Heights. The Suva High Court has found 6 former Public Works Department employees guilty of all the abuse of office charges. Ana Langere, Amelia Vunise, Laisa Halafi, Vadiseva Langai, Vasiti Tuitavuki and Kini Viliame Taviraki were found guilty of abuse of office and causing a lost charges. The 6 were also found guilty by the assessors earlier this week. They have caused a loss to the PWD amounting to over $362,000 in 2010. They will be sentenced next Wednesday. 15 retired teachers will soon leave our shores to teach in Tuvalu for the next 2 years. Employment Minister Choneo Somate says this is an initiative by the ministry to revitalize retired teachers. Sanyani Boiler reports.
The National Volunteer Centre under the Employment Ministry is using the experience of retired teachers by offering work around the Pacific.
A lot of good experienced retired teachers in Fiji that have a lot to offer, not only in terms of teaching the subjects, but also in terms of being, helping out. A lot of them have, held senior administrative positions, so when we send them out, it gives an opportunity to make use of their skills and at the same time helps the countries that they're going to.
For the retired teachers chosen, the opportunity is great help for them and their families.
I feel happy to meet other people in the Tuvalu and the new place for me. And it's challenging work for me to do, and it's going to help us too in my family, economically and financially too.
We feel great because we understand that we are still there in the field, and it's valued, your experience and all your services.
Osamate says the volunteer scheme is also open to new graduates. The 15 retired teachers will leave our shores next week to teach a wide variety of subjects. Sainia Nimboila, ABC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, Fiji's Sevens team to Paris tournament named. But joining us now is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Investment Fiji records 6% increase in applications. And in growing Fiji, new amendments for Lautoka residents. Stay with us.
I'm another sort of of Nayabu whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In business tonight, Investment Fiji has recorded a 6% increase in the number of foreign investment registration certificate applications from August to January this year. The agency handed over $570 million in certificate fees to the Ministry of Economy. Chief Executive Gudamila Toot says a total of 207 applications were received during this period. 86 registrations were related to service sector, followed by wholesale and retail trade, tourism, manufacturing and agriculture, and forestry. Now with a look at what's happening on the international market, here's Savanada from HFC Bank.
Vinaka Rachel. There were some big market movers this morning, especially the US dollar, which is the most weighted currency in the basket of currencies which our Fijian dollar is pegged against. The US ADP employment change was better than expected, outperforming a consensus of 175,000 to hit 177,000. Following this release, the Market Services Index for the month of April increased from 52.5 to 53.1. All of this resulted in the US dollar opening higher by 32 points today, as the US Federal Reserve signaled that they are still on track with 2 more interest rate hikes this year. Off the back of the US exchange rate, we see a weaker New Zealand and Australian dollar, which is great for those making payments in these two currencies and those exchanging Fijian dollars to travel there. That's it for me, Vinaka Rachel.
Thanks, Save. On to today's exchange rates. The Fijian dollar weakened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.22 and 46 cents respectively. Closer to home, the Australian and New Zealand dollar weakened to close at 62 and 67 cents, while the PNG Kina dropped closing at 1.30. Onto the commodities market, a drop across the index again as oil prices closed at $47.55 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,250 an ounce, and silver closed at $16.39 an ounce. In growing Fiji tonight, a new aquatic center will soon open at Lautoka's Botanical Garden following a groundbreaking ceremony this afternoon. Minister for Local Government Praveen Bala says Lautoka needs to have all major facilities as it is a city, and assured residents that more development plans are underway. The second phase of the project will see the construction of a modern pavilion that will allow the hosting of international swimming competitions in Lautoka. The project will cost around $7.3 million and is projected to be completed in a year's time.
This center will house an Olympic standard, as mentioned by the CEO, 50 meters by 10 lanes competition pool, a 25 meters by 8 lanes warm-up pool, and a children's pool for our young with relevant facilities.
And that's a wrap from the business desk tonight. Now to sports, and here's Jamie with the latest.
Naka Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, 4 debutants named in Fiji's 7th squad for last 2 tournaments. And Suva Football Eyes Fiji Fact title. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्क्रीन तक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Gareth Baber has named his 14-member squad for the last leg of the 2016-2017 HSBC World 7 Series. The final team sees 4 new players: Wardens forward Joshua Vakurimbuli, Tamadambu Rova, Samumbale, Army forward Paulo Nraunisinikula, and Ulinikau Baba's wing Glenn Dhakautini forcing their way into the side for the Paris and London Sevens. Meanwhile, Fiji Sevens Olympic gold medalist Masive Sindakuanga as well as Nathanieli Lambalamba, Lemeki Tulele and Joshua Vidi have been dropped from the final squad. Meanwhile, coach Gareth Baber says the inclusion of 4 debutants in his squad falls in line with the development plans for Fijian rugby. Baber says they have earned their spots in the team, but he isn't expecting them to have a perfect run in their first outing. Meli Tavanga reports.
Fiji Sevens coach Gareth Baber says the new boys have been able to fit in very well to the team environment.
Processes in training, look very hard at how players behave in training, their technical and tactical abilities, and mentally how they handle themselves in training sessions. So it's quite exciting to have those going to Paris and London with us.
Baber says this will be the youngest team they've taken to a series, but they're building for the future.
You know, this, as I said, you know, I'm not going to make excuses, but there's new players in here. It's their first year on a HSBC series. There's four new players in this squad who's going to go to England and France. And I want to see them continue to develop. They'll be put under pressure. I know they'll make mistakes, but I also want to see how they react to that and how they develop. And for next year and the year after, in terms of the development of Fijian rugby, that's exactly what we've got to do.
Debutant Ulinakau Baba's wing, Glenn Dhakautini says he is honoured to wear the white jersey.
Thank the Lord Almighty for bringing me this far. I feel great, feel thankful to be part of the squad this last league.
The Fiji Sevens squad will leave our shows tomorrow morning and will take on Samoa in the first pool match of the Paris tournament. Melitavanga, FBC Sports.
The Suva rugby team anticipates a tough encounter against BLK Nandrunga when they host them in the second round of the Skipper Cup rugby competition on Saturday. The new look capital side, with a majority of its squad being first-timers to top-level local rugby, believes it has what it takes to take on the Stallions. Union manager Hyang Yeli says the team has also worked hard to address its weaknesses.
Out of the team of 23, there were 12 new players for the Suva team. 12 the first timers to play for Suva. They've been playing club games, but then from the 23 players, there were 12 new players. So that's a big boost for them, and they proved themselves against Malolo, and that's a good start for us.
The Suva football team has started preparations for next week's Vodafone Fiji FAC tournament. The capital city side last won the tournament in 2012. Rohit Deo caught up with the team at training today.
Trying to get the combinations right, the capital city side's preparations have been smooth sailing so far.
Preparation has been going good. So far for us, I think we just continue our preparation from the league, which we should focus for this year. But yeah, so far everything is gelled up properly. We just left with pleasure to come in and enjoy the rest of the team.
Suva lost last year's final to Nandi on penalty kicks. Rambo says the aim this year is to go one better.
Well, that's the main focus for us. It's just because last year I think we came to reach the final. We lost in another penalty, but this year we want to do, we want to do better with this squad here. We believe that this team can go and do well in this Fiji FAC.
Morale is high and players are eagerly waiting for their first game.
This year we're taking a step, so we'll take a game one at a time, as we treat it as one game as a final. So first game, we're going on with Raki. We're looking forward to that game next one.
The Whites take on Raki in the opening pool match at 1 p.m. Friday week at Nasaris Ratu Kambau Park. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
For the second year running, Tevita Ngukila will represent Fiji at the pro surfing event in June. Ngukila won the wildcard entry tournament at Cloudbreak yesterday. Rohit there with the story.
All finalists took to the waves yesterday to decide who is Fiji's best. Tevita Ngukila once again proving to be a class above the rest.
I'm quite impressed with the level of competition. You guys have some of the best waves in the world, and likewise you've got some of the best surfers in the world as well.
Ngukila had a close final win against Issei Tokovo, who finished as runner-up.
Tevita and Issei, as well as other, and Inya are very impressive. Shea Slater as well is a really good barrel rider, so quite impressed with all the boys.
The waves reached up to 2 meters, making it hard for the surfers.
We run these trials every year, and the winner of the trials is the person that gets the wild card into the World Championship Tour, the Fiji Pro.
Ngukila will face top seed John Florence of Hawaii at the Fiji Pro in the first week of June. Rohit Dev, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Kara is back again tonight, filling in as Weather Girl. She joins you later on. And in our new media segment, Facebook to monitor abusive posts. That's coming up.
Bula, kerong mai singatoka, kerong do tali takana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola do tali takana Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tali, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu tali takini ang do pinasabale po nagudurong varong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti na honga ni BNN.
In new media today, Facebook is hiring 3,000 people for its community operations team to help stop hate speech, child abuse and self-harm being broadcast on the website. And it's weather time now with Kara.
The weather improved across the nation today with a mixture of sunshine and cloud in most centers and warmer temperatures. Taking a look at the west, there was a fair bit of sunshine with occasional scattered cloudiness. Temperatures were in the low 30s. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, also partly cloud skies with a fair bit of sunshine. Temperatures were just a little lower than in the west, with Suva hitting a high of 30. Up north in Honolulu, Lambasa hit 32 and Savu was at a few degrees cooler under mainly sunny skies. And at sea, a strong wind warning is in effect for all Fiji waters, with the southeast winds gusting to 30 knots and rough seas. And for the tides, the next high tide will be at 2:20 tomorrow morning, with a low tide at 8:27. Sunrise will be at 6:21. Looking at tomorrow, it will be much like today with a chance of showers in the east. Ba could reach a high temperature around 32, while Suva will be a little cooler. In the long-range outlook, the low-pressure trough to the south of us is expected to bring a return to showers by late Friday, and we could see cloudiness and scattered rain throughout the weekend.
On Fiji Impulse today, we asked the public, is the FEA power cuts becoming a hindrance?
I just think certain FEA power circuits around the country is becoming weak now.
It will really damage our electronic appliances and stuff at home, which can be very, very expensive to buy again.
It could be a big problem especially to the children, for their study, and also to our everyday life.
Recapping the main stories, FEA installs new circuit breakers to avoid power cuts, account anomalies before Parliamentary Committee, and 3 more military vehicles arrive from Australia. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, are we doing enough to help people with depression? Visit our FBC website to answer. Our shot of the day today was contributed by Mbiva, a beautiful sunset captured at Transvaal Street in Namaka, Nandi. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
हमारा नाम संत कुमार है, हम रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है और ताबुआ में सबसे बेहाल रेडियो फीजी 2 है यार।
हम बिना विमलेश रकाविंदी ताबुआ से रेडियो फीजी 2 हमारा सबसे फेवरेट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम ब्रूस राव है, रेकी मार्केट वेंडा और रेडियो फीजी 2 देश के धड़कन 1954 से हम सुनता है।
हम कबूली ताबुआ रहता है, हमारा नाम है रमेश चंद और हमारी मछली के धंधा है और हम सब टाइम रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।